CineFix Now Roundtable. There are 6 of us sitting here, and it has been so long since we've talked about fanboy stuff and fangirl stuff, fan person stuff.
Fan human.
What
about fan puppies?
So, what's going to happen today is we're doing a fan human roundup for our roundtable.
Nice.
We're going to talk about all the great shit. There's some Star Wars stuff going on. There's Star Trek stuff going on. There's always comic book movie stuff going on. So, Dave, what do you want to talk about first? We'll start with you.
I'm super excited. I know that there's a bunch of us here that are Star Trek fans, and I know I'm personally excited about the fact that Simon Pegg is going to co-write the next Star Trek movie. This is super news. I think a lot of us were kind of worried that Orsi was going to kind of pull the same crap out of the last movie that wasn't great. And it's so exciting he's gone, and Simon Pegg is a great writer. I mean, I'm super psyched for it. And I think it's really positive. I think they're making some super positive steps between him and Justin Lin. I think we're going to see something very interesting.
Yeah, I expect more alien midriffs, more fast spaceships, and more the importance of family. Family is going to be very important.
I mean, the one that both of these guys, Justin Lin and Simon Pegg, have sort of brands and attitudes that they're known for, which I think has caused a little bit of like, I don't know, do we want to see a fast and furious spaceship? But at the same...
But
short answer.
The correct answer is
yeah.
They don't even have warp limits.
I mean,
they can go
midriffs.
Even if it is like a weird Fast and Furious mashed up with World's End, it's still better than recycling the plot of Star Trek 2, but with the characters reversed.
Yeah. It's like Wrath of Khan, except with typos.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I just think that he's got such a distinctive voice. I think like a lot of his work, it's obviously very funny.
Who's he here?
Sorry, Simon Pegg.
Okay, good.
And
we're just talking about a couple different dudes here. I want to make sure
Speaking of typos, you need an antecedent to your pronoun.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I just think Simon Pegg's work's really good. Not only is it really funny, but I think some of it can be really touching. Some of it can get actually emotional. And
I mean, he's just a really fun guy.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg is just a really fun guy. He's funny on top of just being a cool. He's a cool guy. He feels like one of us. He feels like he's also a fan.
Yeah.
On top of. Being a huge part of the franchise already.
Yeah. And a giant nerd. I mean, even back to space. I mean, he's a giant geek.
Well, and he can be positive, which is also really important for not ruining Star Trek.
Totally.
You don't want to have an evil Federation? Right off the bat? Well, the Federation's,
I know. The TV shows took literally like 12 seasons to introduce even like a tiniest undercurrent of some dark aspect of the Federation or Star Trek.
Oh, but once we got a taste of the Borg, we were like,
no, it wasn't it was Section 31.
Borg is not part of the Federation.
Yeah, no,
They had that bit with.
I don't think you made a point.
But nobody.
Look, we're fine with that. I think what I'm most interested about this movie though is and Justin Lin in general, because he's also doing True Detective.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of his trajectory.
I don't know
right
what to
now.
think of that
it's really interesting because he wasn't always doing Fast and Furious. He did some sort of indie kind of character-driven stuff prior to the Fast and Furious franchise. Not a lot of it, but apparently it was enough to get him a big car movie gig. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see, because Justin Lin's voice, the voice that we're most familiar with of Justin Lin, there's not any overlap with the Simon Pegg voice that we're familiar with.
Right.
So it's going to be really interesting.
They could be a great team. Yeah, he did a movie called Better Luck Tomorrow, very character-driven. I think he's really good with ensembles. It's sort of like Joss Whedon, I mean, I think that even in those fast movies where there's so many people in it, everyone got their moments to shine, and I think that's important because I feel like, especially the last Star Trek movie, I felt like there were a lot of characters that were just sort of pushed to the corner, hardly had anything to do with
No, this movie's about Spock.
Yeah, exactly.
And Benedict Cumberbatch, not Khan or whatever his fake name was, but actually about Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, it was a bizarre last outing. So I'm excited. Actually, they're going bold. They're going boldly where no one has gone before. That almost worked out.
You almost got it.
Almost.
They're going bodal.
You know what? I'm not going to give you another chance.
A- for effort.
I still think the
That's going to make
best
the cut.
version of the next Star Trek in the world that they've set up is that Kirk and Spock must race ships in order to win Zoe Saldana's heart.
No. They clearly have to get married so that they can take advantage of some sort of insurance scheme.
Exactly. intergalactic domestic partnerships.
Him directing True Detective to me is a little bit more interesting in that I can see like Star Trek is going to be action packed, and I can see that his sensibility translating, especially with a writer that can fill out more of a plot line.
True Detective just doesn't make
True
any
Detective
sense.
doesn't make any sense. So I'm really curious because I feel like maybe he's secretly one of those directors that's like what we all thought of Michael Bay once. Was like, oh yeah, he's sold out to the system to make lots of money, but one day he's gonna hit a peak of money and go back to making like the slapstick comedies he made in film school.
But he was doing
Really?
explosions as soon as he could get his
Just
hands
as
on
soon as you
explosions.
possibly could.
Look, we can't be jealous of that.
No. But even going back to like
I'll do it for 7 cents.
I just want
Even going
him
back
to
to,
make
like-
The Rock again.
Yes.
Not a sequel. I want him to just make that same movie again.
even just making like The Rock had a good story for all the Michael Bay that it was. So that was like there's this like undercurrent of belief that might happen, and then we realized that fairy was dead.
So we got Pain and Gain.
Yeah. That was the Three Stooges of just rated R.
It was.
Well, that's exactly what you described.
It was
Pretty
fun.
much.
Slapstick
Actually.
comedy
Look, a bunch
for
of
3.5 hours
thieves.
long.
Yes, but he's completely lost the ability to ever actually tell a story.
Well,
So
I mean,
We didn't need to turn this into talking shit about Michael
Yeah.
Bay. We all know.
I love
is-
Michael Bay.
The point is,
the point
You
is
watch
that
him
Justin
now.
Lin might secretly have this like Swedish Army knife of directorial
But
talent.
that's the thing is
Not
that
always.
He does.
he
Swedish
should.
That's what it is.
But isn't Justin
Swedish Army knife is made out of
Sweet.
meatballs.
And horse.
and puppet chefs.
Swiss
But,
Army knife.
but isn't Justin Lin the one who, as soon as he got his hands on this Fast and Furious franchise, which is as Michael Bay as it could be without Michael Bay to begin with, starting to add elements of like actual franchise
Story,
storytelling
yes.
and ensemble
No,
elements?
Justin
Like-
Lin saved that franchise
So-
because Tokyo
With
Drift
story.
is one of the worst Fast and the Furious movies. For whatever you may think of the quality of them, Tokyo Drift is by far one of the
It
worst.
was, I
And
think-
One of them, not the worst though.
Yeah.
That would be too fast.
You're not
too
committing
furious.
to the worst for Tokyo Drift?
No, it's not the worst. It's too fast, too
One of
furious.
the six.
It's the worst.
It was basically it was
Directed by
Fast
Boys
and the
in the Hood
Furious, and then it
director
was
John
just this
Singleton.
downward
It was this
slide,
downward slide.
of like increasingly unnecessary movies.
and then there was like a giant time leap backwards, and at least the semblance of some kind of story. Yes.
Well, anyway, he's going to do Star Trek, so is Simon Pegg, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
They're going to start off as a starship crew and then end up as like heist thieves and then go back to working as like special agents.
That would be pretty great. That would be pretty great if for some reason the Federation like crumbles and then they're just outlaws.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have to remember though, it's not just Justin
Outlaws
Lin
in
directing the
bikini.
story here. We've got Simon Pegg actually telling the
no,
story.
you don't get to direct the next Star Trek movie. Clint.
Fine.
At the same time, Justin Lin still directed Tokyo Drift. So
So there's a bunch of like different DC rumors. One rumor is that Batman might show up at the end of Suicide Squad. Yes, he might show up at the end of Suicide Squad to sort of open up this solo Batman movie that though it wasn't on that long list of
Right.
movies that are going to come out.
Untitled
so-
Warner Brothers project was though.
Exactly, and so they've been talking a
Revenge
little
film
bit about
number
that.
2.
Setting up the whole Joker Batman thing. And also, we talked last week about Tom Hardy leaving Suicide Squad and Jake Gyllenhaal getting the offer, and of course, he's passed. So they still don't have a leader of the Suicide Squad.
does Suicide Squad come out before Batman? No,
No,
right?
no, no.
Is Jai Courtney already in that movie?
Jack
He's
Courtney is
already-
Captain
He's-
Boomerang.
Well, then
He's
they've got
Captain
nobody.
Boomerang.
He's Captain Boomerang.
They're done.
So there you go.
I'm not surprised that Gyllenhaal passed. He's pretty
He's pretty hot right now.
busy and
Yeah.
pretty like serious
Talented.
taking.
Fresh
So
off that Oscar
Yeah.
snub.
I'm still saying Bradley Cooper would be awesome.
I
That's
still
why.
think Keanu after John Wick.
Keanu? I don't know, man. Maybe. I love Keanu.
I don't think
can't sit here and
Keanu's
say-
like. I don't think Keanu would ever buff up.
He can't work in a
You
team.
have to buff.
Keanu works best solo.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah.
But also, the character doesn't really work well on a team.
I don't know. The only thing
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
need somebody who's going to be able to act that.
But But yeah, Keanu's best roles
have you
were...
seen John Wick?
I have not.
See,
That's on my watch list.
that's your weak point.
There wasn't a lot of acting in John
yeah.
Wick.
Well, there's
I
enough.
finally
I have seen a walk in the
Keanu
class.
Reeves.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, by any chance.
Well, that was,
Keanu's like greatest talent is his ability to look incredibly cool. But usually as a solo effort of looking incredibly cool at a camera.
He's not so much good at this. He's good at this.
One of
the
my
wide
favorite
shot.
things.
Are you talking about Kung Fu?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
very-
is.
Yeah,
he's very
Kung
good.
Fu. No, he's not so much great at the close up, although he's beautiful in a close up.
He is very good.
He works really well in the big
Yeah, no-
wide shot, and you see his full body and his physicality.
One of
That's
my
where he
favorite
To
shines.
remind
things-
you that he's human.
Still,
Yeah,
I would say Speed era Keanu Reeves, but not current Keanu Reeves.
as a
Well-
As
Why?
Rick Flag. Money.
I don't think he's appropriate for the role,
No,
frankly.
he's-
I just
he's
love Keanu Reeves.
That's what I was saying. I don't
he's
think-
inappropriate. Like my favorite thing, kind of in the whole universe, is the Kenneth Branagh Much Ado About Nothing, where
Where he and Denzel
Wait.
Washington are brothers for some reason.
yeah.
Nice.
and he's
Yeah.
like he's
such the
trying.
So
He tries
Well,
so.
see, the thing
like,
is,
you just want to
is that-
take him aside and just like hug him and be like, "It's okay. We don't expect you to do
is not
this."
for you. This is not your thing.
Like I've seen that movie a couple of times because it's otherwise delightful.
It's great.
But like you have to fast forward through the Keanu bits.
No. What you do is you watch the
So
Keanu bits,
bad.
like pretending that it's Bill.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted, or Ted, right? It's
Yeah.
Ted from Bill and Ted.
I am
just
gonna have to.
acting.
I am gonna have to
Yeah.
revisit that movie.
He's
Yeah.
he's time warped in, and he knows he has to play this
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
That's
He's
your
like,
butt.
I'm a famous actor now. I
And
have
that's the
to play
thing.
the part.
And I feel like being Rick Flag is more of a, I don't want to call
It's inward
it
struggle,
Shakespeare,
yeah.
but it's more of a like ensemble acting job than
Go ahead and call
John.
it Shakespeare.
It's more of a Shakespearean acting job in that it's with an ensemble. You have to sort of
Talk.
get your,
You're gonna have to
Point
hang
across.
with everybody
Right.
else in that cast. So.
and there won't be a lot of like, hold on Keanu as he looks awesome in this position.
No, it's
Which
how many
was
times you
kind
can
of the
punch
point
somebody
of
before giving him a
Matrix.
headshot.
And it was also
Gotta
kind
watch
of the point
John
of
Wick.
That's John Wick.
That
It
is-
was the half of the point of John Wick was like, look at Keanu, look cool in this position.
He doesn't hold poses.
He like,
breaks people and then shoots them in the
Okay,
head.
so it's the fast motion equivalent.
it's
of
not
this.
gonna be
It was all
Keanu.
ridiculous.
Yeah, we're just
Okay,
gonna
can we
move
just
on.
stop?
I
talking
wanted
about
to be.
John Wick?
Alright.
You can't put him and Jai Courtney in the
Tony
same
Bradley
fucking
humor.
movie. Where that whole movie is nothing. It's setting a VHS camera up on a boardroom table and pointing it at a wall.
Gosh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm still
badly
voting for
for
Oprah.
Courtney now.
Oh, yeah.
I would actually be kind of cool. I think it would be cool if they did gender swap.
Gender swap.
Gender swap.
Yeah, make it Oprah.
Yeah.
Flag.
Yeah, is there any particular reason they couldn't? Not really. right?
Regina Winfrey.
No.
Flag.
No.
Except that, like,
That'd be
Regina
nerd
Winfrey.
rage, but that's about
I
it.
think the
Winfrey's her
DC
name.
isn't necessarily. They're definitely not doing a unified, like, cinematic TV universe, but I think they are trying to remain consistent with at least things that have happened in the comics or
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
currently happening
Right.
in the
Yeah.
comics, which I think once Superman and Wonder Woman are on screen, that will be an interesting, canonical choice for the cinematic universe. But yeah, like, I don't think they're going to randomly gender swap somebody if they haven't in the comics.
No, probably not. Yeah.
But if they can't find a good actor, that is our suggestion, Warner Brothers.
You could do it with some sort of magic ray.
Yeah, or a gender swapping ring from space.
Jupiter Ascending will do fine, and they'll put Channing Tatum in it.
Yeah.
That
Channing
could
Tatum might not.
That's good.
Oh,
That would be
like he's
fine.
already busy with Gambit.
Yeah, he's Gambit.
Yeah.
His other comic
There-
book guy.
He's got his finger in a
He's
different
going to be the
eye.
Which is
lead
why Bradley Cooper's
Gambit.
not gonna
This
do
is
it.
the actual
Yeah.
problem with so many comic book
All right,
movies,
Bradley
right?
Cooper's also in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
kind
but
of.
he's a voice.
They haven't denied that they'll do with him the same thing they did with Jarvis, where Paul Bettany is Jarvis, but he's also
Vision.
Vision.
Yeah.
Because you don't see Jarvis,
Right.
and so they haven't said that Bradley Cooper can never be on screen because he's
Right.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Well,
But
we're
especially
His voice
now.
is different enough.
Yeah, his voice is like unrecognizable.
So,
Changed.
sounded like he had a cold.
I wouldn't say it's as different as the text, the lettering in the comics would have suggested. I believe we had a discussion about that in the roundtable at some point.
I had an issue with that. I was like, his voice needs to sound different because it's all like in squiggly lines in the comics, and that's
Yeah.
not different enough.
He went for Joe Pesci, didn't he? That's what he
Yeah,
said. He
yeah.
went for Joe Pesci.
Too bad Jake Gyllenhaal will find somebody else.
Yeah.
To love?
Yeah.
There's
To
a lot.
love.
There's a lot of actors
But
out
who
there.
will
I'm
it
sure.
be? Who's muscly enough?
Tom Hardy isn't really that muscly if you really think
really
about
isn't.
it. I mean, he's in shape,
I mean,
but he's not like.
he can be.
Yeah, but
Well,
I
he
mean,
can be
even-
when he
even-
has
He can
the
get
Bane.
warrior side.
When
even-
he's wearing the Bane prosthetics, yeah.
No, but he can get
I was kinda
warrior side.
disappointed.
Warrior side.
Warrior side, Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
Joel Edgerton.
I like
Joel Edgerton's
Joel
great.
Edgerton. I think
Yeah.
he'd be great.
He always
He's
looks
really
like
good.
Conan O'Brien to me.
Just because of the Great Gatsby.
Well, why not Conan O'Brien then?
Yeah.
That is just because
He's got
of the
acting
great
chops
Gatsby.
now because of that Archer thing. So.
I like Edgerton a lot, actually. I love his voice. He could,
Oh, he's
he could
awesome.
definitely be good.
He's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, well, we
If
settled
not
that.
Oprah,
As long as he has hair, I'm okay.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
long as he's not like weird plastic baby,
Yeah.
like Exodus
Ooh,
look, we're gonna be
there's
fine.
scary.
So
not
we settled
Oprah,
that.
PewDiePie.
No, I said
No.
we settled
PewDiePie.
that. I said
Yeah.
we settled that before you brought that up.
Damn
So
it.
it's settled. So sticking with DC again for a minute, Supergirl got cast. Greg
Yeah.
Berlanti's Supergirl series.
Yes.
Got themselves a Supergirl. Melissa Benoist.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce
But
it?
from
Lee.
Benoist.
Benoist.
Yeah.
Benoist.
Which one is she from?
I feel like
Glee?
there should be
She
a.
was okay. She was on the season where they all graduated from high school, so they had to get a whole new high school class.
Are you familiar enough with the show that him describing it would allow you to know?
He is.
That could have
Oh, Mark is familiar.
Oh,
with
she's
Glee.
quite good.
And I was
could've
in,
asked the
I was
same
in the
question,
equivalent
but
of
we
Glee
would've
Club in high school. So.
She's also Whiplash.
Whiplash.
She's also
Miles
Whiplash.
Teller's girlfriend. in
She
Whiplash.
was
just in there for a minute, but she stole it. She
She
was
did.
really, really good for that minute.
I can honestly say I've never seen anything with her in it. I like the fact that she has blue eyes because Supergirl has blue eyes. That's nice, and she's 5'8", which is awesome.
But she's a brunette.
She's a brunette, but that's
They
easy
can
to
make her
fix.
blonde.
That's fixable.
Yeah.
Will they make her blonde? Is interesting.
Do they
don't.
need?
They won't
They don't
necessarily
need to
make her blonde.
necessarily.
Yeah, but
Um,
probably
they
they tend
probably
to
will.
stick with
I mean,
iconic
That
looks.
look,
Yeah. That's a big part of it.
Especially
That's
for
still the-
TV.
Are they going to reference Superman in that show?
It's gonna
I
be
don't
curious
know,
to
it's
see
a
what they're
question.
gonna reference.
Are they gonna
at
do
all.
a Glee spin-off that's just superhero high school? Because isn't this like the second or third?
Who else was Gustin?
Grant
Yeah,
Gustin
Grant
is
Gustin
yeah.
was on
And Gustin was on Glee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's great as the Flash.
It
Or
would
they
be-
should do a Flash Supergirl musical crossover.
Or just everybody
You
that was
heard it
in
here
Prison
first.
Break, just keep being villains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kara L spent a long time on Earth before she actually ran into Kal-El, right?
It depends.
But she wasn't Supergirl at that point.
Yeah.
She became Supergirl like emulating her cousin.
There's different
It'll
versions.
change again in 18 months when DC reboots everything again.
That's
so.
true.
Yeah, there's some of
No,
them.
no,
she's,
Marvel's
like,
rebooting
suspending.
everything.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, and then in 18 months.
probably
Oh,
to
right.
keep up with DC.
The new 64 or
Right.
whatever.
But apparently it's going to be kind of a procedural, though. Apparently she's going to be solving crimes while also being a superhero.
And
'Cause
the
it's
interesting
CBS.
thing is that
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that it starts with
Also budget.
her like as a 24-year-old who is just accepting the fact that she has these powers and that she needs to use them for good. So it's like
Yeah.
it basically picks up where Smallville kind of left off.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
like, it starts with her going like, "I'm gonna be Supergirl. Here we go."
Yeah.
Instead of that being the very last shot of 17 years worth of TV.
It's gonna be Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
I love that show.
I
Thank
love that
Yeah.
show. It was so silly and it was
Yeah.
the greatest.
She's not old enough for it to be
No,
Lois and
but
Clark, the New
the
Adventures.
first few episodes was him being like, "Mom, Dad, I want to change everything. Mom, can you make me a costume?"
Yeah.
It was him
And it being
being
like, you're too old for your mom to make you a costume. Dean
Oh,
Kane.
but that's the thing.
You're
His
a grown-ass
parents,
man, Dean
his
Kane.
parents were so
Dean Kane.
his parents
Take a
were
class,
so
Dean
cute
Clinton.
that you kind of didn't care that he was like.
His parents were adorable on that show. I wanted like pet versions of them.
Yeah. Or at least like little
Sometimes I keep humans as pets.
plush.
Yeah, we knew that.
Bobblehead.
Little
Kinda
plush.
You're not
little-
fooling anyone.
That was that show was made only a few years after DC had decided to keep Mom and Pa Kent alive, both of them, because in all the other versions, either Pa Kent was dead or they were both dead, based
Right.
on which version. So.
Pa Kent's dead again, right?
Based on who decided to
Well,
save
Kevin
him.
Oh,
Costner's-
Man
Kevin
of Steel,
Costner's
Paul
dead.
Man of
Kent
Steel,
is-
yeah. But it really just depends. Smallville, he was alive for like 5 years.
Oh, but then he died.
Yeah, then he died. Yeah.
Spoiler
I think
alert.
He's always got to die. That's just the way it is.
The other thing is that they haven't officially ruled out Gotham sort of not crossing over necessarily, but touching on the same universe as Arrow and Flash.
Well, that probably won't happen.
That's much more
I would be
likely with
shocked if it
Supergirl.
happened at this point.
The thing is,
But I'm
It's
curious
such a
to
different
see-
world.
Yeah.
I'm curious
Yeah.
to see how they handle Supergirl.
The thing
if
is-
there's any hope at all.
Also,
for-
CBS and the CW have an actual relationship.
They're,
Whereas,
yeah,
you
they're
know.
the same company
Yeah.
essentially, and Berlanti produces
And Berlanti
Flash
is
and
it-
Arrow.
yeah.
And
I'm
Supergirl,
pretty
so.
sure that the crossover will happen, musical or otherwise.
Yeah, Supergirl will cross into the Flash. I don't think she'll ever cross into Arrow as
Yeah.
Supergirl because
Well, if
Arrow
she crosses into
avoids.
Flash, technically, she's crossing into Arrow. That's the same world.
Right, but to the show, simply
But, well,
because
there won't be an
Arrow
Arrow
doesn't do superpowers very well.
Yeah,
Right.
Or
and
if they do at all, she might cross over as the human version of herself, being a spy doctor or whatever she is.
Spy doctor.
Wait, is she gonna be a spy doctor?
Coming up
she's
at
solving
10
crimes.
on
Solving
CBS.
Oh,
crimes.
she's solving crimes.
Yeah.
She has to be a spy doctor. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's what all police are, right?
Yeah.
First they join the
No,
CIA.
amateur sleuths are all spy doctors.
and also the Flash does so well that they might actually CBS might be willing to do the crossover with
Yeah.
CW just because the Flash
Just
gets
for the ratings,
amazing
right. Yeah.
numbers compared to everything else on that network.
All right. Well, Supergirl. They just cast her. They're gonna start shooting. I don't know here before too long. I guess. When's it gonna come out? Fallish.
fall.
Fallish. Maybe spring. I don't know.
They'll pilot now, and then if
see.
it doesn't, Wonder Woman. it'll
Assuming
be
it
up
doesn't Wonder Woman all over itself, everything will be fine.
Well, Berlanti knows what he's doing. a lot.
Berlanti knows that
He's fine. Star Wars.
Yeah.
A bunch of fun Star Wars stuff has happened the past couple of weeks. The quickest one I think that I'd like to talk about is George Lucas came out and says like, yeah, they're not using any of my ideas for Episode 7.
I know.
Which was the first time that George Lucas has said anything about Star Wars that we've all been like, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Probably since he announced Episode 1.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he announced Episode 1, once we got past that, everything was like, oh, really? Really?
See, I still think that's just a marketing ploy, and he still has this like dick in it.
Still think
I
he's
really
right
don't
in
think
there?
he still has his dick in it.
Wow. Did you learn that from John Wick? Where'd you get that from?
I mean, I think in a grander sense, that's probably true. I think they're almost definitely using characters and like certain like ideas of the universe that he's created. I just don't think like he probably read the script and was like, "Oh, you should do this here and this here and this here and there should be some microchlorians over here."
He had
and
an outline. He had an outline for Episode 7 that was included in the sale
Yeah.
Right.
to Disney.
It was
they
the
were like-
last
they were
thing
like-
he gave up.
Nope.
Yeah. It was
Like,
the last
JJ,
thing
what's
he
your
gave up.
idea?
Yeah.
That's much better. Okay.
Oh, great.
Episode 7, Revenge of the Midichlorians.
It's
Midichlorians.
midichlorians, bro.
Midichlorians.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it doesn't matter. They're not real.
It also had a
Well, I mean,
character
none of
called
it's real if you
Merchandise.
really like it.
Merchandise.
But they're less real.
It's funny because it's like you would assume the creator of a series, people would be upset by that, but it's so funny because I can imagine like one person on comment board being like, "Oh man," everyone else being like, "Rejoice!
Yeah.
this
exactly.
is great."
It's
If
just
the
so-
prequels
so
had never
good.
happened, people would be upset.
Yes,
I
Yeah,
kind
true
of
that.
mostly don't care because I feel like George Lucas has been getting really out of touch with what people want out of Star Wars for a really long time, and you can have a long debate about like creators and
I mean,
original
you could argue
vision.
that it happened between
But-
Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, nobody's really thought that George Lucas has their best Star Wars interest at heart for like a couple
Which is
decades
it's
now.
so nice to hear him just say. It's like, yeah, no, none of my shit's in there.
And
Yeah.
but at the
It's gonna
same
be
time,
great.
if he had said like, oh yeah, that they're using a couple of my ideas, I would react like, oh well, at least it's just a couple, and you're not actually writing.
Well, then we could have this fun little game where you could point to different moments like, I bet that was Lucas. That shit was I bet that was
See,
Lucas.
now I wish they were using a couple of his ideas
Yeah.
because that game would be fun.
That would be a fun
Yeah.
game.
We could do a whole CineFix series on
Um,
that. Let's be honest.
What was George Lucas's
You could do
idea?
that with Indiana Jones, the fourth one.
Oh,
Yeah.
That all felt
It's
like
real easy
yeah.
to play
That all
that.
felt like George
Well,
Lucas.
that's because you can literally hear the record scratch. It's
Yeah.
like, and now we're swinging through the trees with monkeys.
I can
Now these
imagine
ants are gonna eat us all.
at the end of the CGI process, he was like, "Yeah, let's give one of those monkeys a haircut like Shia LaBeouf, like a little Elvis haircut. Yeah, I think people will love that. It'll be really good."
How do you survive an explosion? Refrigerator.
Yes.
Hey, they can withstand anything. It's an old 1950s joke.
I think that's it. I think we just don't get it, right?
No, that was
We don't
the
get
point. The
guys
point
on the
was
porch.
that it was that brand of refrigerator that
Well,
supposedly
That is
could
the
withstand.
worst joke ever.
It is, but nobody got
It's made
it.
for the one guy plugged into a resuscitator who's right about
Like,
to go.
I remember those fridges.
Then he dies.
Is that why my parents laughed so hard at that
Yeah,
point in the movie?
yeah.
Because my
We're way
parents
off.
are 74 years old. Like
Oh, they're just confused.
they were like,
This
He
was for the
survived.
baby boomers.
They're like-
These pictures,
there
they're
were
moving.
commercials, there were ads back when we were kids that
Yeah.
were like so strong. Also, why do you need your refrigerator to be strong? Come to think
So
of
it
it.
can withstand a nuclear blast. It was a
Or a
threat back then.
drive-by.
Look, the Jerry's were a huge threat, and we thought they were going to come over to American soil.
All the men.
Okay,
Jerry.
but going back to Star Wars for a second. Because there's no Indiana Jones
No news.
stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
But the one of the spin-off, the standalone movies, Gareth Edwards' standalone movies, is getting there's some casting rumors going on. There's 3 names that are tied to a female lead for his movie. Rooney Mara, which kind of is like kind of a no-duh. She's sort of up for female lead and everything.
Yeah.
But
Felicity
should she,
Jones.
should she be though? Does anyone like
she's
Rooney
fine.
Mara?
I like Rooney Mara.
I like
she's
her,
fine.
and she's really good at looking interesting.
I just like I did not love her in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo at all.
Oh, I
didn't
did.
think she was nearly as good
I
as
liked
the first actress who played her in the Swedish version.
Has
The
gotten
TV movie?
so many more
No, I liked her
roles,
better
too.
than the TV movie.
Really? I thought that. Well, first
And
of all,
I
thought
like
the
I
movie was
like
better
the
in
actress
general.
from the Swedish movie. She's gotten a lot of work since then.
Yeah.
I like her a lot, but I liked Rooney Mara better.
Really? Oof.
So there's Rooney Mara, then there's Felicity Jones, who's riding Academy
Theory of
hot
Everything.
streaks.
She
Seems
seems
odd.
really cute for like a action
Yeah.
movie female lead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she really does. And then the other one, which is the favorite, is
Yes.
Tatiana Maslany.
That's
Yes.
amazing. She's
maybe
great.
getting some Star Wars.
I would
Yeah,
I would pay to see that.
I would
Yeah.
pay. Well, like I'd pay
Yeah.
to see her just sort of be in front of a
Just
white
do stuff.
screen and
What
like
would you
do
pay
a
her to
one-man
do?
show.
What would you think?
The
Tatiana
Gareth
Maslany-
Edwards Star Wars should just be like a one-woman show of Tatiana Maslany just doing all of it.
It's just a.
And
the
then
Gareth-
I could get behind a lot of CGI in Star Wars.
The
'cause it would
Gareth
be like
Edwards Star
her-
Wars movie needs to be an episode of Orphan Black, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No,
Star
but-
Wars starring
no, wait.
Tatiana Maslany as
With the support of
every
George
single
Lucas
thing.
level like CGI, so she would be playing
Plays
opposite
every character.
herself
Yeah.
as an alien
Clumps.
sometimes.
She's a.
But good.
But that's
Because
too
of-
much. That's too much Tatiana.
Like Star Wars clumps.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
that was, by the way, not an actual serious suggestion, but that's about how much I love her. Is I would,
Well, it could literally
if she
be.
ever does do an off-Broadway one-woman show, I'm going to so pre-order those tickets.
Okay, just take it easy.
They
We
got
pay her
all
to do
down
whatever. We get it.
If they get her in there, it'll literally be Attack of the Clones.
It could be.
Come on,
Oh,
finally.
Oh my God! All
There's
the internet
a-
jokes are writing themselves
There's a
already.
I
headline
know.
from some.
She's just a great actress. I think it's great. I don't think Orphan Black is going to last more than 2 years, honestly. I thought the second season wasn't quite as good as the first season, so it's a good opportunity, and hopefully it happens.
Well, and she's just real good.
She's
She
real
is,
good,
You know,
yeah.
and I mean, so often like people get to be movie stars, and you're like, wait a minute, when did that happen and why?
Totally, yeah.
And then so
I'm
when
looking at
people
you,
are-
Jai Courtney.
So when people, we got to have him on the show.
It was Jack,
We really
Jack
gotta find
Reacher.
Jack.
It was Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
way
He was
more
terrifying
awesome
in Jack
than,
Reacher.
than Tom Cruise.
I bet if we
had the Jai Courtney conversation.
Yeah. Can we not do another show on Jack Courtney?
I bet you if we send Jai Courtney what you said about him being the like the
middle piece
the
of
middle
bread in
piece
a club
of bread in
sandwich?
a club sandwich, he'd come on the show just to have a little.
Well, look, you can
little
get him in
word,
anything.
Little word match with him.
That's true, including.
But
your
you would
podcast.
stumble over and not remember.
We do a roundtable that's just slightly better than Die Hard 5.
Yeah, but even Willis was bad in that one. That was
No, that
just
movie was
the
garbage.
worst.
That's not totally his fault.
ugh, what a bad
Man, I
movie.
love how all of our conversations start somewhere and end up with us being like, you know what movie I fucking hated though?
Yeah.
Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney.
That movie.
Oh man.
That
You know,
one-man show I would not pay to see.
The other thing is like, depending on what Gareth Edwards movie, there's the rumor about maybe it's the Han Solo movie, but then there's also the rumor that maybe it's sort of like a Western style with a bunch of bounty hunters.
The
which would
Seven
be-
Samurai.
Which would be
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
cool.
That would be very
In
cool.
which case, Jai Courtney will be one of those bounty hunters.
Probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
good
there
for
are
him.
no other buff dudes.
Yeah, so it'll be
as
Jai
we've
Courtney, and
established.
it'll be Tatiana Maslany, and it'll be
Whoever else
And-
was in
and-
Smoking Aces, and
Yeah.
Is there? So is I
and a
don't
handful of British guys that we're gonna
Oh,
meet for the
God.
first time.
I don't know about the expanded Star Wars universe. Are there Lady Boba Fett's?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's like a whole
I
race.
mean,
of
in the new Star Wars TV show,
There's-
one of the main
there's-
characters is
there
that.
are-
They just
I
like
mean,
slug
there's
on
a
each other.
lady
doing
Yeah,
what
like
they're
the
doing.
Mandalorian
Mandalorians.
mercs
Boba Fett.
have,
yeah.
Boba
you
Fett.
know.
Boba Fett.
Oh, never
What the
mind.
hell is happening
I
right
was thinking
now?
He's
something
thinking
else.
Jabba.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're probably Lady Jabba.
It's like,
Boba
I just
Fett.
want a video
He's like
of you
a
saying
guy.
Boba Fett over
Yeah,
and over
no,
again.
but
Then cut
he's
to
part
Han
of the
Solo just
Mandalorian
don't-
mercs. How they're
Right, and that like there are other I know there's other characters with a very similar looking costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, one of
They're
the
all in
names-
white, and there's so many.
But
of
what I
them.
need to know is, are there Lady Jabba the Hutts?
Are they lady
Probably,
There's gotta be
you know,
that.
like I
yeah,
said,
it's got
And
to
if
be.
they are, do
I
they like
mean,
slug on each other?
that-
No, I mean it
There's
could-
one in
oh,
episode
God.
in the episode 1 prequel. There's
If there are lady huts, do they lay eggs or is it a live birth situation?
Oh, it's a live
It's like
bird.
they lay eggs.
It's
it's as disgusting as
Here's
possible.
here's
Or
like
is it like,
like-
put the eggs out and then the dude huts like slide over the top of it?
Oh.
See, now I
Or is it
have
a live birth where there's like 400 little huts?
and then,
Oh,
only
yeah,
three
they just like
survive,
it's
and
like
they
a
all have
spider
other
egg
sisters.
stack
Skirmish
just
out.
on
And
a
they all
wall.
have to race to the sea before the birds get them.
Now, I don't remember from episode 1. Are the Hutts a species with a great deal of sexual dimorphism, where the dudes are like the guys are?
I
really big
remember
and
there being enough of a difference that.
He wouldn't be attracted to Princess Leia if the lady huts weren't smaller.
I think it's more of a situation. I think
I
they
feel like that
reproduce
was a
like
power
Greek gods,
situation.
where like their heads crack open and other huts spring out of them.
Maybe
It's
Jabba the
like
Hutt's
the bird
just
just
pregnant.
like rips out the
and
insides.
he's not fat, he's just pregnant.
He's got
At any moment he's
75
gonna
little
explode.
huts in there.
And then
They'll shrink
more
back
little
down
huts.
So you're saying that he actually has both sexual organs?
Yeah,
Well,
he's
so
just
are
a
slugs.
giant. He's
So
just,
if you
yeah.
told Jabba the Hutt to go
Slugs
f
have-
himself, he could.
Slugs have
Yeah,
both
I
sexual
guess.
organs. He would
Okay.
he's just a giant egg.
God, I like boba tea.
Me too.
You know, I've never
Boba
had-
tea is very fattening, so you
It doesn't matter.
That's
You know, some
probably
people
what
have
it's.
a phobia of
It's-
bubble teas.
Well, boba's just got a lot of calories for the.
Okay, real
Yeah,
quick
super
before,
sweet.
before Boba Tea becomes the apples of this round table. Is there anything else we got Star Wars otherwise going on?
I can't think of anything. No, those are the
Yeah.
big ones that came.
Big stuff.
Yeah.
We still don't know shit about shit. Is basically
We don't know shit about shit, except maybe another trailer is going to be coming out in for Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Another one? I think I've seen everything I need to see.
For Star Wars? For episode
Oh, during Age of Ultron.
Yeah, there's going to be a trailer for
Okay.
episode 7.
I thought you
in
said.
front of
I
Age
thought
of
you meant
Ultron.
like Ultron number 3. I was like, I'm fine. with
No, no. Well, there's
Ultron
gonna be
trailer 4,
it. Yeah.
TV spot
There'll be
7.
one of those.
Which Pinocchio song will we have this time? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Find out.
Because suddenly the trailers for Age of Ultron are a sitcom.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens next week?
Now I'm just really
Age of
hoping.
Ultron trailer.
Now I'm just really hoping that Age of Ultron just follows the plot of Pinocchio.
yes.
And just uses songs from Frozen.
Oh God.
We got it.
Look, if they wanna make me-
Oh God.
At one
All right.
point, they just all get by a whale.
Ultron?
Oh God!
That was maybe the best reaction. Oh God! All right,
Feel money escaping my wallet.
Oh, the merch.
Well, I think we've done a good enough job talking about really, really unimportant stuff that we're all super passionate about. So good work all around. Thank you for watching our roundtable. Let us know what you think about all that stuff down in the comments below. Who's going to be Rick Flag? What else did we talk about?
You guys are
How
gonna be
about
at
that
Sundance
Supergirl,
tomorrow.
huh? Star Wars, yeah. And
We're technically at Sundance right now.
currently we're at Sundance.
Oh.
Don't tell anybody, but we're at
You guys
Sundance.
have Bilo.
So, yeah, check out all of our Sundance coverage that's going on right now. Also, go vote on our tournament's semifinal matchups. Very important that you do that. And that'll be it. Come back next time for more CineFix. But no, I've never had boba tea.
Oh, it's delicious.
Great.
It's weird
I
to
don't
me
like
that
it
there
as
are
sweet
chunks
as it
of
is.
things in there.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just like
but they're very
just
slippery.
It's liquid tapioca pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sounds awful.
No, but
It makes me
no
want to eat
pudding.
less.
No, it's like gummy bears in your teeth.
It's gummy bears in your
Is it actually gummy bears though?
Yeah, it's like
Tapioca
it's like
balls.
gelatin balls.
It's good.
tapioca balls.
I feel like we
Still not gonna do
should get Clint to
Oh, they're
boba
so
tea at some
delicious.
Still not gonna do it.
Make him say.
We'll
We'll get it for you when you first see
na,
snow.
na, 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 na.